Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick, founder of Herbal 411, and today's unboxing is on Garden of Life probiotic. So this probiotic, like all the other probiotics that they have at Garden of Life, is pretty good quality. I like the combination of different bacterias that they have in certain combinations. Now, you have to understand that since the Gut Microbiome Project came out about a decade or two ago, it was kind of just dropped and found that when studying the stomach lining, the small intestine lining, and the colon, there's a bunch of microbiota or organisms that exist that we carry through life. It starts when we're born, as we suckle on mom's breast, that's usually bifidobacter, and as we pass through the vaginal canal, that's usually lactobacilli. But those are only two, and there's just countless other organisms and subspecies that exist out there. Not all of them can be cultured. I think the best that I've seen with a wide spectrum of different tests would be Genova. It's called a gut effects microbiota study, something like that. And I will usually order it if I have somebody that is bordering on the problem of bloating, irritability, IBS, both constipation and diarrhea. But it also is very important to just establish that there may be gas formers or non-gas formers. Gas formers, as far as bacteria, typically should not cause that much gas. You can have the bacteria in your colon exist there for an eternity, at least as far as you're alive. And the balance is supposed to be that they help you digest and then you help keep them sheltered. But again, the theory is that there's so many different bacteria that you carry, and unfortunately we destroy them. You destroy them with antibiotics given by us doctors for infections of the urine, infections of the throat, the chest or the respiratory system, the skin. And I think we give them too often. But if you look at the amount of antibiotics that doctors give, human doctors, it pales in comparison to the amount of antibiotics that are given to animals that we eat. So regardless, if the earth goes on taking antibiotics for animals and humans, you will destroy bad guys, bad bacteria, but you'll also destroy good bacteria. In theory, the human gut should have a microbiome that's recoverable, meaning after the 10 days of antibiotics, you grow the gut bacteria that you were born with again to the same degree as before the antibiotic, but minus the bad guy. The theory is that if you hit back to back to back with antibiotics, you will destroy permanently certain species in the gut. And each of those bacterias, and there's several different colonies, is responsible for a different action that it does. Whether it's to cleave estrogen, whether it's to break down fiber, whether it's to help with the white blood cells in the lining, hunting for other bad things in your body. And when you kill a species off, you theoretically cannot get it back unless you take it in a probiotic form. This is the theory, but in some studies, no matter how many probiotics you take, you'll never be able to get what you were born with. So that's why I think with people who have the concept of SIBO that they carry, it's important to understand that this is only a theory, that you can rebuild your gut. But the true science is that if you do have excessive amounts of hydrogen or methane forming bacteria, you want to get rid of them. And the only data that shows it will help is using this really tough antibiotic that does not get absorbed, just passes through, but it kills everything. Rifaximin. I've tried several times to get it approved by pharmaceuticals, but it always gets denied. And there are other lower tier antibiotics, augmentin, Bactrim, doxycycline, that have been used instead of rifaximin. And I think the theory with using them is also helpful or reasonable. You kill the playing field and then you re-inoculate with good bacteria. Sometimes if you do re-inoculate, I think the theory is that you might be able to start a new colony, in fact, a whole microbiome, and maybe look better than before. The only problem is there's no guarantee. And then you also have to consider that it's not just the bacteria, it's the lining, it's the mucus biofilm that's involved with holding the bacteria. There's this whole ecosystem and balance that exists in your colon, and in addition to the propulsion, the gentle movement that's always going in one direction. When you eat bad stuff, you don't get that biofilm. When you eat crappy things and toxic things like alcohol or pesticides, then you're going to destroy everything and not recover that. And then you'll have problems with malabsorption. Instead of pooping out extra testosterone, hormones, and cholesterol, you'll reabsorb all that crap and you'll have high levels of all that stuff and totally imbalanced. So I do have some videos and I'll put them in the description down below, but as far as using probiotics, I think it's important to change over every month. As far as the type of bacteria, there are certain bacteria that have been known to help with inflammation. Certain bacteria help with increasing testosterone levels. Certain bacteria help with burning fat. And it's too much information to put on one video. I just wanted to give you the idea that if you're going to use a probiotic, use it for about 30 to 60 days and switch over to a different set of bacteria. And you got to read all these things, and hopefully the bacteria that you take, in addition to that Saccharomyces, which is an anti-inflammatory bacteria, will reestablish a healthy gut, healthy microbiome, and get your guts working back to like they used to when you were bulletproof to all kinds of foods and did not have bloating. So hopefully this isn't too confusing, but this is just a little bit of a idea about what I do and what I expect my patients with gut issues to do. And maybe it'll give you a foothold to start rebuilding your gut so you don't have the shits anymore, the problem anymore with gut dysfunction. If this is helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up or share it with other people who have IBS or SIBO. And if you do have SIBO or symptoms of SIBO and your doctors aren't helping you, you can certainly be one of my patients. Just click the link down below to my website. I do virtual visits from around the world in addition to locally in Hoffman Estates. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you at the next video.